First contact and deception. The quantum sensors detected them first. Deep within No-Rave's subterranean complex, Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the readout with a mix of excitement and dread. The signal patterns were unlike anything she'd seen in 15 years of astronomical research. 3 massive objects, each larger than Earth's largest cities, were decelerating from near light speed at the edge of the solar system. "General Matthews," she called out, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "I think you need to see this." The gruff military commander crossed the room in quick strides, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display. He'd been stationed at this classified facility for the past decade, overseeing humanity's most advanced early warning system, one whose existence was known to fewer than 100 people worldwide. "How many?" he asked simply. "3 primary vessels, sir. But the quantum wake suggests there could be smaller ships we can't yet resolve." Sarah adjusted the display, highlighting the complex energy signatures surrounding the alien fleet. "They're using some form of gravitational propulsion we've theorized but never achieved." General Matthews nodded, his expression unreadable. "And our stealth systems?" "Holding, sir. As far as we can tell, they haven't detected our quantum grid or the lunar bases." She paused, studying the data streams. "They appear to be scanning Earth with conventional technologies: radio, gravitational, and electromagnetic. Nothing that would penetrate our quantum camouflage." The general allowed himself a small smile. For 30 years, humanity had prepared for this moment. While the public saw space programs struggle with basic rockets and satellites, a secret coalition of nations had quietly achieved technological breakthroughs that would have seemed like science fiction to most people. The quantum defense grid, the lunar manufacturing facilities, the Mars colonial outpost, all hidden behind revolutionary stealth technology that bent probability itself to conceal humanity's true progress. "Initiate Protocol Omega," Matthews ordered, triggering a cascade of encrypted communications to similar facilities worldwide. "Let's see what our visitors want before we show our hand." The alien ships arrived with theatrical flair 3 days later, positioning themselves in geosynchronous orbit over Earth's major population centers. Their arrival caused exactly the panic and awe that Sarah suspected they intended. Stock markets crash, religions grappled with existential crises, and governments struggled to maintain order. The aliens called themselves the Federated Concordat of Enlightened Species. Their ambassadors, tall, ethereal beings with silvery skin and flowing robes, appeared simultaneously in every major government center worldwide. Their message was both simple and troubling. "We come in peace," their primary ambassador announced to the United Nations General Assembly, "to welcome humanity into the galactic community. Your species has shown remarkable progress, advancing from primitive technology to basic spaceflight in mere centuries. We offer guidance, technology, and protection as you take your first steps among the stars." Sarah watched the broadcast from NORAD, her fingers flying over quantum interfaces as she analyzed every aspect of the aliens' presentation. Something wasn't right. The energy signatures from their ships showed weapon systems powered and ready. Their diplomatic corps carried devices that seemed designed to interface with Earth's computer networks, and their ships' positions formed a perfect grid for planetary containment. "They're lying," she announced to General Matthews, pulling up complex data visualizations. "Look at these scan patterns. They're not here for diplomatic relations. They're conducting a military reconnaissance under the guise of peaceful contact." Matthews studied the data, his jaw tightening. "Agreed. But why the deception? If their technology is as advanced as it appears, they could simply demand our submission." Sarah's quantum systems picked up new signals. The aliens were beginning to deploy smaller satellites in low Earth orbit. "Because they don't know what they're dealing with," she realized. "They think we're primitive, relying only on what they can see. They have no idea about the quantum tech, the lunar bases, or the defensive grid. They're preparing for an occupation, but they're preparing to subjugate a civilization centuries behind their own." Over the next week, the pattern became clear. While the Concordat's ambassadors spoke of peace and cooperation, their actions told a different story. They began upgrading Earth's satellite networks, installing their own communication systems, and offering technological gifts that seemed designed to make Earth dependent on their advanced systems. But humanity's hidden quantum network detected it all. The backdoors in their gifts, the weapon systems disguised as communication arrays, the biological scanning systems analyzing human weaknesses. The Concordat wasn't preparing for cooperation. They were preparing for conquest. In secure facilities around the world, humanity's true leaders met in quantum-encrypted conferences, invisible to alien surveillance. The Chinese quantum defense minister shared AI analysis, showing the Concordat's ship deployments matched known invasion patterns from Earth's military history. The Indian Space Command revealed that the aliens' diplomatic vessels carried enough firepower to level cities. The European Union's Quantum Computing Division had already detected and countered 3 attempted AI infiltrations of Earth's visible computer networks. "We need to maintain the deception," General Matthews argued in one such meeting. "Let them think their plan is working. Let them think we're the primitive species they expect, grateful for their guidance and blind to their true intentions." Sarah spoke up, her holographic avatar appearing among the world's hidden leaders. "We have an advantage they can't imagine. Their technology is more advanced than what they think we have, but our quantum systems operate on principles they haven't discovered. They're preparing to fight a primitive civilization with conventional weapons. They have no defense against what we've actually developed." The Russian quantum fleet commander nodded in agreement. "Their arrogance will be their downfall. They expect spears and arrows, while we have weapons they cannot comprehend." As the meeting concluded, Sarah returned to her analysis of the alien vessels. The Concordat's ships were impressive, but they relied on technologies that humanity's quantum systems could not only detect but potentially surpass. Their gravitic drives, their energy shields, their faster-than-light capabilities, all operated on principles that Earth's hidden quantum technology could affect. "They think they're gods coming down to guide primitives," she murmured, watching new alien satellites deploy over Earth's cities. "But they have no idea they're walking into a trap centuries in the making." The Concordat's invasion plans were proceeding exactly as they intended. Unfortunately for them, so were humanity's. The hidden shield. 3 weeks after first contact, the Concordat made their move. Commander Elena Santos stood on the observation deck of Lunar Base Alpha, watching Earth glow blue and white against the stark lunar landscape. To most of humanity, the moon remained a distant, barely explored world. They had no idea that beneath its cratered surface lay humanity's greatest achievement, a network of manufacturing and research facilities that stretched for hundreds of kilometers. Her quantum communicator chimed. "They're beginning." Dr. Chen's voice came through with perfect clarity, despite being transmitted from deep within NORAD. Energy spikes detected across their entire fleet. Elena smiled grimly. "Right on schedule. Status of the quantum grid. Fully powered and undetected. Their scanners still show only our civilian infrastructure." On Earth's surface, the Concordat's true nature finally revealed itself. Their ships, previously maintaining a peaceful orbit, suddenly activated massive energy weapons. Their ambassadors, speaking to world leaders, transformed their diplomatic rhetoric into ultimatums. "Submit to Concordat rule or face annihilation. Your species requires guidance," the alien leader announced globally, his previously benevolent tone now cold and imperious. "We had hoped you would accept our authority willingly, but your primitive nature makes force necessary. Surrender now, and we will be merciful. Resist, and we will demonstrate the consequences of defiance." To emphasize their point, one of their smaller vessels fired on an uninhabited island in the Pacific. The energy beam struck with devastating force, or would have, if it had reached its target. Instead, the beam hit an invisible barrier 50 kilometers above Earth's surface, dispersing harmlessly into quantum space. The alien ship fired again, and again, each shot dissipating against humanity's hidden defense system. In the Concordat's command ship, confusion reigned. "Impossible," their weapons officer declared, analyzing the readings. "Their technology is centuries behind ours. They have no defensive capabilities that could." "Look," another officer interrupted, pointing to their primary display. Across Earth's surface, something was changing. The quantum camouflage that had hidden humanity's true technological level for decades began to fade away, revealing the real Earth. Massive defense installations emerged from beneath holographic mountains. Floating cities previously disguised as clouds shimmered into view, and on the moon's surface, the true scale of human advancement became apparent as massive hangar doors opened in the lunar soil. Elena gave the order she trained decades to deliver. "All quantum fleet vessels, deploy. Operation Hidden Shield is now active." From the lunar bases, hundreds of ships emerged. They bore no resemblance to the primitive spacecraft the Concordat had observed. These vessels were sleek, advanced, and powered by technology the aliens had never encountered. Similar ships rose from hidden bases across Earth's surface and beneath its oceans. "What is this?" the Concordat commander demanded, broadcasting on all frequencies. You're primitives. Your most advanced vessels are chemical rockets. Your computers are binary. Your weapons are kinetic." Dr. Chen's voice answered him, transmitted through quantum channels that bypassed the aliens' communication systems entirely. "You saw what we wanted you to see. Humanity learned long ago that true strength lies not just in power, but in the wisdom of when to reveal it." The quantum fleet took up defensive positions around Earth. Their designs were unlike anything in the Concordat's experience. Shapes that seemed to bend reality itself. Drives that left no energy signature. Weapons that operated on principles the aliens couldn't comprehend. Elena coordinated the deployment from Lunar Command. "All ships maintain quantum stealth until my mark. Let them see exactly what they've walked into." The Concordat's ships began to move, trying to establish battle formations. But their tactical systems, designed to counter known technologies, struggled to track the quantum vessels. Their targeting computers, programmed for conventional physics, couldn't predict the movements of ships that manipulated probability itself. "This is your final warning," Elena transmitted to the alien fleet. "You came to our world under false pretenses, planning to subjugate what you thought was a primitive species. You were wrong. Withdraw now, or face the consequences of your deception." The Concordat responded with a full attack barrage. Energy beams and graviton torpedoes launched toward Earth, only to vanish into quantum interference fields. Their most powerful weapons proved useless against defenses that operated outside normal spacetime. "They're launching their fighter craft," Dr. Chen reported, monitoring the battle through quantum sensors, "attempting to overwhelm our defenses with numbers." Elena nodded. "Just as simulated. All ships, execute Protocol Omega. Show them what quantum warfare really means." The human fleet engaged. Ships phased between quantum states, appearing instantly behind Concordat vessels. Weapons fired not energy or projectiles, but concentrated packets of altered probability, causing alien shields to fail with mathematical certainty. Fighter craft found themselves engaged by quantum AIs that could predict their movements before they happened. In lunar orbit, Elena watched the battle unfold. The Concordat's invasion force, which had expected to face a primitive civilization armed with chemical rockets and nuclear weapons, found itself overwhelmed by technology they couldn't understand, let alone counter. "Their flagship is attempting to summon reinforcements," Dr. Chen reported. "Quantum interference is blocking their faster-than-light communications." The battle lasted less than an hour. The Concordat's mighty fleet, which had conquered dozens of truly primitive worlds, found itself outmaneuvered and outfought by the very civilization they planned to subjugate. Their ships, those that remained functional, retreated to the edge of the solar system. But humanity's revelation was just beginning. As the quantum camouflage fully dissolved, The true extent of Earth's advancement became clear. The Mars colonies, the asteroid mining operations, the quantum research stations scattered throughout the solar system, all emerged from hiding. "Send to all Concordat vessels," Alina commanded. "You came to guide what you thought were primitives. Instead, you forced us to reveal capabilities we've hidden for centuries. The question now is, what will you do with this knowledge?" In the aftermath of the battle, as humanity's quantum fleet maintained its defensive positions, Dr. Chen's analysis painted a clear picture. The Concordat's invasion force was formidable by conventional standards, but against quantum technology, they had no effective countermeasures. "They'll be back," Alina mused, watching the alien ships retreat. "And next time, they'll come prepared for what they've seen today." Dr. Chen's response carried a hint of amusement. "But they still won't be prepared for what they haven't seen. After all, we've only revealed our defensive capabilities. They haven't even glimpsed our offensive potential." The hidden shield had protected Earth. But the real war was just beginning. Counterattack. Admiral Marcus Chen, brother to Dr. Sarah Chen, stood aboard the quantum dreadnought Prometheus, studying tactical displays that showed the Concordat's retreat turning into a regrouping. The alien fleet had fallen back to Jupiter's orbit, marshalling reinforcements through quantum-disrupted wormholes. "They're adapting faster than expected," he observed, watching the aliens modify their shields to account for quantum interference. "But they're still thinking in conventional terms." His XO, Commander Diana Ross, nodded. "They're trying to counter what they saw in the first battle, strengthening their shields, adjusting their weapon frequencies, deploying anti-stealth measures. But they're defending against the wrong threat." Marcus smiled. "Begin Operation Quantum Storm. Let's show them what humanity's offensive capabilities really look like." Across the solar system, Earth's hidden quantum fleet began to move. But unlike conventional military operations, this attack would redefine the very nature of space warfare. The first strike came not from weapons, but from probability itself. Quantum computers deep within lunar bases began altering the mathematical certainties the Concordat relied upon. Their faster-than-light drives began experiencing random failures. Shield harmonics destabilized for no apparent reason. Communication systems received transmissions from battles that hadn't happened yet. "Status of the probability field?" Marcus asked. "Expanding as planned," Diana reported. "Their tactical computers are trying to compensate, but they can't process the quantum uncertainty we're introducing. Their entire command and control structure is starting to break down." The Concordat fleet commanders found themselves facing an enemy that fought not just in three-dimensional space, but across multiple quantum states simultaneously. Human ships would appear to be in several locations at once, each version equally real until observed. Weapons fire would travel backwards in time, striking targets before they were fired. In his flagship, the Concordat's supreme commander, Zax Thor, struggled to comprehend the attacks. "This defies all known physics," he raged. "How can their weapons exist in superposition? How are they attacking us across temporal states?" The answer came in the form of a quantum transmission from Admiral Chen. "You assumed that because we hadn't contacted alien civilizations, we must be primitive. The truth is, we spent centuries advancing in silence, pushing the boundaries of quantum physics while letting the galaxy think we were still playing with rockets." Earth's counterattack unfolded across multiple dimensions of space and time. Quantum torpedoes split into countless probability states, overwhelming alien shields by existing in all possible attack vectors simultaneously. AI systems guided by quantum computers predicted and countered enemy movements before they began. "Their secondary fleet is attempting to establish a defensive line near Saturn," Diana reported. "Quantum analysis suggests they're trying to adapt their shields to handle probability attacks." Marcus nodded. "Time to show them why that won't work. Deploy the entropy weapons." A new class of human ships moved into position, carrying weapons that the Concordat's sensors couldn't even detect. These devices didn't fire energy or matter. They fired concentrated packets of entropy itself, accelerating the heat death of anything they touched. The aliens watched in horror as their most powerful ships began to age centuries in seconds, metals crumbling and energy systems failing as entropy took its toll. No shield could block these attacks because they didn't operate through normal space. They worked by accelerating the fundamental decay of reality itself. "This is impossible," Zax Thor transmitted, his ship's systems failing around him. "Your species, you were supposed to be simple primitives. How did you develop weapons that violate causality itself?" "Because we never stopped learning," Marcus replied. "While you conquered lesser civilizations through brute force, we explored the fundamental nature of reality itself. Your technology is impressive, but it's still bound by conventional physics. We moved beyond those limitations centuries ago." The battle spread across the solar system, but it wasn't fought with traditional tactics. Human ships created quantum singularities that swallowed alien vessels whole. Probability weapons caused enemy ships to experience every possible failure simultaneously. Temporal attacks meant some Concordat vessels were defeated before they even arrived. In Lunar Command, Dr. Sarah Chen monitored the quantum readings with growing concern. "Marcus," she called her brother, "we're detecting massive quantum fluctuations. The Concordat is trying to tear open the spatial rift. I think they're attempting to bring in their entire home fleet." "Good," Marcus replied, surprising her. "That's exactly what we wanted. Commander Ross, initiate Phase 3. Diana's fingers flew across quantum interfaces, quantum entanglement field active, targeting their breach point. As the Concordat's massive reinforcement fleet began to emerge from the spatial rift, they found themselves caught in humanity's trap. The quantum entanglement field linked their ships together at the subatomic level. What happened to one would happen to all. "Send the surrender demand," Marcus ordered. "Let them know that their entire fleet now exists in a quantum superposition. One wrong move, and we collapse the wave function. Every ship in their fleet will experience the same fate simultaneously." The Concordat's response came quickly. Their remaining ships powered down weapons. The spatial rift closed. In the space of a few hours, humanity had not just defeated an alien invasion. They had demonstrated mastery over the fundamental forces of reality itself. "They're requesting terms," Diana reported. Marcus looked at the tactical display, showing the remnants of the once mighty Concordat fleet now held hostage by quantum mechanics itself. "Tell them that humanity is willing to negotiate, as equals. But first, they need to understand something fundamental. We're not the primitives they need to guide. We're the civilization they should have feared." As the battle ended, Sarah's quantum sensors detected something new, more ships arriving at the edge of the solar system. But these weren't Concordat vessels. Other alien civilizations, watching the battle through their own long-range sensors, had witnessed humanity's true power, and they were coming not to fight, but to establish diplomatic relations with a civilization that had mastered quantum warfare. The age of humanity's isolation was over. But it had ended not with submission to alien overlords, but with a demonstration of power that would reshape galactic politics forever. The enemy within. While humanity's quantum fleet secured its victory in space, a different battle was unfolding on Earth. Alexandra Volkov, head of Earth's Quantum Security Division, stared at data streams that painted a disturbing picture. They were never just preparing for military conquest, she announced to the Emergency Council meeting. "The Concordat spent those first 3 weeks seeding our planet with something far more insidious." The holographic chamber showed representatives from Earth's hidden power structure, military commanders, quantum scientists, and AI specialists from every major nation. Dr. Sarah Chen's avatar flickered as she joined from Lunar Command. "Nanoscale quantum receivers," Alexandra continued, highlighting microscopic anomalies appearing in urban centers worldwide. Designed to interface with human neural patterns, they weren't just planning to conquer us. They were preparing to reshape human consciousness itself. General Matthews' hologram leaned forward. "How widespread is the contamination?" "The good news," Our quantum shielding blocked most of their distribution attempts. The bad news: they successfully seeded about 12% of major population centers before we detected the pattern. The implications were staggering. Even as humanity celebrated its victory in space, an invisible war was already underway in Earth's cities. The Concordats' neural interfaces were sophisticated, capable of subtly influencing human thought patterns without the hosts even realizing they were being manipulated. We're detecting coordinated behavior changes in affected areas, Alexandra explained, bringing up population behavior maps. Increased aggression, paranoia, and most importantly, growing distrust of quantum technology. Sarah Chen's avatar nodded grimly. They're trying to turn our own population against our greatest advantage. If they can't defeat us militarily, they'll try to make us defeat ourselves. But the Concordat had underestimated humanity's preparation for this kind of threat too. For decades, Earth's quantum security systems had been designed not just to defend against external attacks, but to counter internal subversion. Alexandra activated a new display, showing networks of quantum sensors hidden throughout Earth's infrastructure. We've been mapping their neural interface signals. Our eyes have isolated the quantum frequency they're using to influence human consciousness. Now we can begin our counter-operation. The plan was audacious. Rather than simply trying to remove the neural interfaces, which could harm their human hosts, Earth's quantum systems would hijack the Concordat's own technology. We're detecting something else, Sarah reported, her avatar's expression concerned. The neural interfaces aren't just trying to influence humans. They're collecting data, mapping human consciousness itself. I think the Concordat is trying to understand how we developed our quantum technology without them detecting it. Alexandra smiled. Then let's give them something to study. Initiate Protocol Mindstorm. Across Earth's cities, quantum transmitters began broadcasting on frequencies that matched the alien neural interfaces, but instead of trying to block or destroy the Concordat's influence, these signals carried something far more dangerous: human creativity, determination, and resilience. The aliens had tried to map human consciousness to understand how a supposedly primitive species had developed such advanced technology. Now they were getting their answer, downloaded directly into their own analysis systems. They're trying to shut down the neural network, one of Alexandra's technicians reported. They've realized what we're doing. Too late, Alexandra replied. Our quantum eye has already compromised their entire neural interface system. Every piece of data they collected about human consciousness is being fed back to them, along with our own additions. The Concordat's subtle attempt at mental manipulation was being turned into a weapon against them. Their own neural interfaces were now broadcasting human thoughts, human emotions, and human determination throughout their fleet. In Lunar Command, Sarah Chen watched the quantum readings with growing excitement. The feedback loop is working. Their ship's AI systems are being overwhelmed by human cognitive patterns. They never expected to encounter minds that could adapt to and overcome their technology. The alien neural interfaces, designed to subtly influence and control primitive minds, found themselves trying to process consciousness that had evolved to master quantum mechanics. The result was devastating to the Concordat systems. We're detecting massive AI failures throughout their fleet, Alexandra reported. Their entire command and control network is being overwhelmed by human thought patterns. They literally cannot process how we think. The Council watched as the Concordat's remaining ships began powering down, their AI systems unable to handle the quantum feedback of human consciousness. The aliens had tried to understand humanity by analyzing their minds, and those minds had proven too complex, too adaptable, and too resilient for their technology to handle. Incoming transmission from the Concordat flagship, Sarah announced. They're requesting assistance. Their primary AI systems are failing, and their neural interface network is collapsing. Alexandra looked at the assembled council members. Now we have a choice. Do we help them recover from their own attempted subversion, or do we let them face the consequences of underestimating humanity yet again? General Matthews spoke first. Help them. Show them that humanity's strength lies not just in our technology or our resilience, but in our capacity for mercy, even to those who try to enslave us. The decision was made. Earth's quantum systems began helping the Concordat stabilize their failing AI networks. But the message was clear. Humanity wouldn't just resist control, they would turn any attempt at manipulation back against their attackers. As Earth's quantum technicians worked to contain the chaos of intermingling human and alien consciousness, Alexandra received a priority alert. The quantum sensors had detected something else hidden in the Concordat's neural interface network, evidence that the aliens themselves might be acting under the influence of something far more ancient and dangerous. The war wasn't over. It was about to enter a phase that would challenge not just humanity's technology, but the very nature of consciousness itself. Victory's price. Admiral Marcus Chen stood in the quantum-shielded conference chamber aboard the Prometheus, facing not just the defeated Concordat leadership, but representatives from a dozen other galactic civilizations. The evidence Alexandra Volkov had uncovered in the neural interface network had changed everything. Your entire civilization, he addressed Zaxthor, has been unconsciously influenced for millennia by quantum thought patterns embedded in your oldest technology. You weren't trying to conquer us. You were being used to test us. The Concordat leader's silvery skin had lost its luster. Impossible. We are the guardians of galactic order. We guide primitive species to prevent chaos. Dr. Sarah Chen's hologram interrupted, displaying complex quantum readings. These patterns exist in every piece of your advanced technology. They're subtle, nearly undetectable. Unless you understand quantum consciousness at a fundamental level, something has been guiding your civilization's development, pushing you to seek out and test other species. The revelation had profound implications. The Concordat, believing themselves to be benevolent guides of younger civilizations, had actually been unwitting agents of an ancient intelligence. Their entire society had been shaped to serve as a testing ground for emerging species. Your neural interface network wasn't just trying to control humans, Alexandra explained, her avatar highlighting specific quantum signatures. It was attempting to assess our resistance to large-scale consciousness manipulation. When we not only resisted but turned it back on you, we triggered something dormant in your systems. The chamber's displays showed the activation spreading through the Concordat's technology, quantum patterns awakening after eons of dormancy. Humanity's demonstration of quantum mastery had triggered a response from whatever ancient force had shaped the Concordat. We're detecting massive quantum fluctuations throughout the galaxy, Sarah reported. Something is waking up. Marcus watched as space itself seemed to ripple, reality bending as an ancient quantum intelligence made itself known. The entity had seeded countless civilizations with its technology, waiting for one to demonstrate true mastery of quantum mechanics and consciousness. All ships, battle stations, he ordered, but hold fire unless attacked. This is first contact with something far beyond our experience. The ancient intelligence manifested not as ships or energy beings, but as perturbations in quantum probability itself. It existed simultaneously across multiple dimensions, its consciousness spanning the galaxy through the quantum entanglement networks it had scattered among countless species. To everyone's surprise, it spoke first through the quantum computational network, its thoughts translating simultaneously into all known languages. At last, a species that understands. You have proven yourselves worthy not just of survival, but of inheritance. The assembled alien representatives watched in awe as the quantum entity revealed the truth. It was a guardian, left behind by a long-vanished civilization to find worthy successors. The Concordat and other advanced species had been shaped as testers, unknowingly pushing younger civilizations to evolve and advance. Your quantum technology, it communicated, demonstrates understanding of reality's fundamental nature. Your resistance to consciousness manipulation shows evolutionary readiness, and your choice to show mercy to your defeated enemies proves ethical advancement. Marcus exchanged glances with his sister's hologram. You're offering us something. What exactly? Knowledge, power, responsibility. The entity's quantum patterns shifted. The civilization that created me faced a threat from beyond this galaxy, one that nearly destroyed them. They seeded the galaxy with their technology, hoping to guide evolution toward species capable of facing that threat when it returns. The chamber erupted in discussion as the implications became clear. The Concordat's aggression, the neural interfaces, the tests of humanity's capabilities, all had been part of a grand plan to prepare for something far worse than alien invasion. The threat they faced is returning. The entity revealed. My creators could only delay it. They chose to preserve their knowledge rather than face extinction in a futile last stand. Humanity has proven worthy of this inheritance. Will you accept it? Marcus looked at the assembled human leaders, seeing determination in their faces. Humanity had hidden its advancement for centuries, preparing for first contact. Now they faced a choice: remain isolated or step onto an even larger stage. We accept, he declared, but with conditions. We won't become like the Concordat, testing and manipulating younger species. We'll find a better way. The quantum entity's response carried what felt like approval. That is why you were chosen. You understand that power without wisdom brings only destruction. The inheritance is yours, along with the responsibility to prepare this galaxy for what comes next. As the ancient intelligence began transferring its vast knowledge into Earth's quantum networks, Marcus turned to the Concordat and other alien representatives. Your civilizations were shaped to test others. We offer you a different path. Join us as equals in preparing for this threat. Learn to master quantum technology, not through coercion, but through cooperation. The galactic representatives, faced with the truth about their own histories and the looming threat from beyond, began to signal their agreement. The Concordat, freed from the subtle influence that had shaped their society, was among the first to accept. Sarah's hologram smiled at her brother. We spent centuries preparing for first contact with alien civilizations. Instead, we've become the civilization that others needed to contact. The question is, are we ready for what comes next? Marcus watched as the quantum entity's knowledge poured into human systems, bringing understanding of technologies and physics far beyond even Earth's hidden advancement. We've proven we can face the unknown without losing our humanity. Whatever comes from beyond the galaxy, we'll face it the same way, with wisdom, determination, and unity. The price of victory wasn't just in the battles won, but in the responsibilities gained. Humanity had emerged from isolation to find itself not just part of a galactic community, but its destined protectors. The real challenge was just beginning. End.